In the world of American coins, the 1965 Washington quarter holds a special place, not only because of its design and everyday use, but also because of its transitionary importance in United States coinage history. The 1965 quarter dollar without a mint mark is one of the most common coins from the mid-20th century, but it carries deep historical, collectible, and market value meanings that collectors and history lovers appreciate. To understand the real value of this coin today, we need to explore its story from the very beginning. What happened in 1965, why this quarter was so significant, and how its composition, minting process, and surviving conditions affect its worth in the modern collector market. In 1965, the United States Mint faced a serious coin shortage. Silver prices were rising, and people started hoarding coins that contained silver. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, but as the price of silver increased, the cost of minting a silver quarter exceeded its face value. To solve this crisis, the U.S. government changed the coin composition from silver to a copper-nickel-clad mixture. This was a major change in American currency. The 1965 quarter became the first regular-issue U.S. quarter that contained no silver. Instead, it featured an inner copper core sandwiched between two layers of cupronickel, giving it a silvery look but with no real silver content. This new clad design has been the standard ever since. Because of this important transition, the 1965 quarter dollar without a mint mark has both historical and educational significance. It symbolizes the moment the U.S. left the silver standard for circulating coins. The no mint mark indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia, as coins from that mint traditionally did not carry a mint mark at that time. Unlike later years where mint marks like D for Denver or S for San Francisco were clearly used, in 1965 all quarters were produced without mint marks to discourage hoarding and confusion. The coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. The word, liberty, appears above the head, in God we trust, to the left, and the date 1965 below. On the reverse side, the eagle with spread wings stands on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a symbol of strength and peace. Around the top rim are the words, United States of America, and below, quarter dollar. The simplicity and dignity of this design made it one of the most recognized coins in U.S. history. Now let's talk about the value. Since 1965 quarters are made of base metals, their face value remains 25 cents in circulation. However, collectors and coin dealers look beyond face value to condition, rarity, minting errors, and grade quality. In average circulated condition, a 1965 quarter without a mint mark usually trades for around 25 to 40 cents, just a little over its face value. This is because billions were produced. Approximately 1.8 billion 1965 quarters were struck. So they're not rare in normal worn condition. But in uncirculated or high-grade mint state, the story changes. A 1965 quarter in mint state MS60 to MS65 can fetch between $1 and $10 depending on luster, sharpness, and strike quality. Exceptional examples graded MS66 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC may sell between $30 and $100. If a coin is graded MS67, which is extremely hard to find, collectors may pay up to $400 or more. The top population coins in MS68 condition have been auctioned for several $1,000s, even though such examples are very few. The most valuable 1965 quarters are those with striking errors or special characteristics. One of the most famous types is the 1965 silver transitional error quarter, a coin mistakenly struck on a 90% silver planchet leftover from 1964. These rare error coins look identical to the regular clad 1965 quarters but weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 grams, and have a different ring when dropped on a surface. These silver transitional errors can sell for anywhere between $3,000 and $10,000, depending on condition and confirmation by experts. Some of these have even reached over $15,000 in major coin auctions. Another interesting aspect is that some 1965 quarters show double die errors or off-center strikes. These are not common but are collected for their uniqueness. A double die obverse might show doubling in the word, liberty, or, in God we trust. Such error coins can range from $50 to several hundred, depending on how strong the doubling is and the coin's preservation. Off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, and broad strikes from 1965 can also command values from $20 to several $100s. When considering condition, collectors use the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. Circulated coins fall between 1 and 58, while mint state coins range from 60 to 70. Proof-like surfaces are not common in 1965 since the mint temporarily halted proof sets that year due to the composition change, replacing them with special mint sets, SMS. These SMS coins have a semi-proof-like finish and are better struck than circulation coins. The 1965 special mint set quarters can sell between $2 and $10 on average, but high-grade examples graded SP67 or SP68 can bring $40 to $300. Exceptional SP68 or SP69 examples with deep cameo contrast have even sold for over $1,000 in auctions. The 1965 quarters design remained the same for years, but its importance lies in being the first clad issue. Collectors appreciate it as a milestone coin. For new collectors, owning a clean, uncirculated 1965 quarter is an affordable way to start learning about U.S. coinage changes. For advanced numismatists, the search for error pieces or top-graded SMS examples keeps the coin interesting even today. In today's market, the typical price range for a 1965 quarter without a mint mark is as follows. In circulated condition, 25 to 40 cents. In uncirculated condition, MS60 to MS65, $1 to $10. In gem condition, MS66 to MS67, $30 to $400. In top grade, MS68, $1,000 to $2,500. Special mint set SP67 SP69, $40 to $1,000. Transitional error on a silver planchette, $5,000 to $15,000 or more. Even though billions were made, most 1965 quarters are heavily circulated. Finding one with full mint luster, no contact marks, and sharp details is difficult, which is why high grades command a premium. It's also worth noting that the absence of a mint mark does not automatically mean a coin is rare. All 1965 quarters were struck without mint marks by design. Collectors today often check their 1965 quarters by weighing them precisely on a digital scale. If a coin weighs more than 6 grams, it may be worth testing for silver content, as that could indicate a rare transitional planchette. Some collectors also check for die cracks, cuds, or doubling using magnification. The smallest error or difference in the design can increase value. From a historical perspective, the 1965 quarter marks the end of an era. Before this, all quarters were silver. After 1965, the value of the coin became entirely symbolic. It teaches a lesson about economic change, government policy, and the importance of resources in shaping national currency. Even though it may look like an ordinary coin, its story connects to America's economic history and technological development in minting. If you're someone who wants to collect 1965 quarters, focus on finding bright, lustrous, and well-struck examples. Store them properly to avoid tarnish or scratches. Avoid cleaning coins, as that can reduce their collector value significantly. For serious collectors, certified graded examples from PCGS or NGC ensure authenticity and help determine true market worth. In today's collector community, the 1965 quarter continues to attract attention because of its transitional nature. People love to discover an ordinary-looking coin that hides extraordinary value. The idea that a coin you might still find in pocket change could be worth thousands is exciting and educational. Many coin hunters check rolls of quarters hoping to find a 1965 transitional silver error, and a few lucky ones actually have. To summarize in plain terms, the 1965 quarter dollar without a mint mark is worth about its face value in average use, but can be worth between $1 and over $15,000 depending on condition, grade, and error type. It's not just a coin, it's a chapter in U.S. coinage history. Every detail, from its copper core to its silver tone surface, tells a story about change, adaptation, and the enduring fascination of numismatics. So, when you next look at your 1965 quarter, remember that it's not just 25 cents. It's part of a national transformation, an artifact of history, and a small piece of the American story that continues to shine decades later.